Good evening, Winter Park, Rollins College, WPRK. This is Creative Control Radio, and we're your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Mecca.
I'm Matt.
And we are joined here today. We're missing a member, but we're joined here today by a locally talented musical artist, special guest. Everybody give it up here for Talii in the building. And that's Talii with two eyes, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Talii, where are you from?
I'm actually born and raised here in Central Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Florida girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome on to the show. You mentioned you've been on radio before.
I have, yes.
When was that?
So actually the first time I ever did any type of radio was here at WPRK.
Really?
I can't remember what the radio show was. It was a long time ago. I was probably like 17 or 18 years old. But more recently I did with Kelly V.
Okay.
And that was about last year, and that was really cool. And I was on, I think it was like 94.5, I believe. And yeah, that was awesome. That was the most recent time I was ever on the radio for like the longest. Yeah.
Wow, big time station for a big time host. And I guess the welcome back then to WPRK.
Thank you.
She was on here before us.
Yeah, it's so cool. Literally like a long time ago.
Motion, the traveling man. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Where have you just gotten back from today?
I got back from South Florida, Miami.
Sheesh.
I was there for Art Basel for the weekend. That was fun.
And how'd that go?
It's really good.
There were some celebrities out there I saw.
Yeah, Travis Scott pulled up to, there's like this venue, Lot 11 skate park. It's like under I-95, and they have DJ sets there too, and he pulled up like 2 days in a row.
Wow.
And my friends were there.
Did he like perform, do anything? He was just chilling?
No, he was just chilling.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Nice. How was your time down there? The weather was good or getting
Weather
hot
was
again?
great, yeah. No, it was perfect. It was like room temperature the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of followed my friends around because he's like tapped into the art world down there. So I usually just, wherever he's going, I don't know, I just follow him.
True.
I didn't really pick any events out. I just went to whatever, so it was fun.
We'll be meeting your friends soon enough then.
Yeah.
Was it everything you expected?
I think so, yeah. I went last year too. I think it was like even better this year. Because last year it was like mostly going to the club and some art stuff, and this year it was more art stuff, which I kind of wanted. The club's fun, but like it was a mix of both. But it was fun.
Done that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, welcome back. I guess we'll have to debrief with Freaky Phil whenever he joins us back on the show.
Literally.
Love Mecca. How's your Tuesday going, brother?
Can't complain.
Yeah. I like that you're changing the colors to match anything or just changing them.
Yeah, man. Match the pants a little bit.
I see the match.
Trying to put myself together a little.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into our first segment. The best thing you've seen this week. Talii, this can be anything, right? Sporting event that you saw live, movie, TV show, anything in the arts field related to that, a concert, just your niece's dance recital. The best thing you've seen this week.
Oh, wow.
Motion likes to kick it off.
Do I? Okay.
Give her some time to think.
I'm going to say maybe, I guess like two, but it's kind of the same thing. Like my friends in South Florida and then also my mom because I stayed with her.
Oh, there you go.
And like just for the whole time. Yeah, nice sound effect. Them.
Cool. Yeah, parents usually, when you haven't seen them in a while, that's usually the best thing you've seen this week. Well, Mecca.
We got to do this week or since the last show? Or
last show was like 2 weeks ago, man. That's too much to pick from.
That's fair. Best thing I've seen this week, probably Sean yesterday. I went to Sean's last night. We were up till like, I don't know, I left his crib at like 5 a.m. or something.
4 walls.
Yeah, but we were just cooking up, and it felt good because I've just been working on like mixing and finishing stuff lately, so it felt nice to have like a very expressive experience.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think the best thing I see every week is my child, for sure.
There you go.
But I also saw like a really good video by of people talking about like a Neville Goddard concept, and it was really cool because it opened my mind up to just the concept of, just keeping your thoughts more in the present moment and being able to like conceptualize your reality before it actually happens. And I love listening to that stuff, especially in my mornings, because it helps me like set it up really good. And just the way it was described was in a very like tangible, digestible way, like manifestation and that whole concept. So yeah, that was one of the best things.
And you said that's called Neville Goddard?
Yeah, he's like he's an author from a very, very long time ago. If I'm not mistaken, maybe like the 1920s or 30s. He wrote Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
So some people take his like transcripts and stuff and they'll put it on YouTube, And so I'll watch those videos just to kind of like feed my brain with positivity in the morning to get myself on like a good track. So yeah, that's something I've been listening to in my mornings, and it was a really good way to kick off the week for me.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
Thanks.
Well, I definitely don't have anything that tops that. I went to the Aloma Cinema Grill recently and saw Moana 2.
Oh.
I don't know if we have any Moana fans or Disney, Pixar movie fans.
First one,
First one was good. This one is good as well. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't know if everybody's seen it in here yet.
No, I want to take her to go see it, though.
Okay, not going to ruin it for anybody in the room. But it was really good. It was probably the best thing I've seen this week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Disney does a good job, I will say, about creating movies that don't just draw the children in, but drawing the parents. Because I mean, at a certain age, children aren't taking themselves to the theaters. So I think it's very, very well done on Disney's part. Pixar, all those younger movies.
Oh, yeah, they do a good job. They really, like, hit you right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With those, like, deeper motifs, the parents are, like, crying. They're like, oh, my God.
And the
like,
children...
like, what's wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, we're going to take a short musical break here, but before we do, Talii, something we ask all of our guests that come onto the show do, describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, my gosh.
Bum, bum, bum.
These are such difficult questions.
And no pressure at all. We're just going to...
I would say goofy,
Okay.
introspective, and empathetic. I think those are 3 good words.
Based off your 3 answers, I would say you're also very intelligent.
Oh, thank you.
Goofy. Is that something you lean into, or is that just who you are?
I think I'm just like naturally a weirdo sometimes, and like my defense mechanism for being nervous is to like make people laugh. So I just like naturally just do weird things and make weird faces. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the way I was made,
Yeah. Leaning into it. Introspective, that's an important one.
Yeah, I feel like the inner world is just as important, if not more important than the outside world, because when we're able to really tune in with ourselves and understand what's going on in the inside, we're able to really have a big impact on how we experience our outer world. So I spend a lot of time within myself, just to get to know who I am in this lifetime, and it's been a really beautiful experience because it's helped me heal a lot, and I feel like in turn it's also helped me to understand people more, and the world that we live in more. So yeah.
And what does that introspection look like to you, I guess, maybe physically? Do you sit down and meditate, or do you just...
Yeah, so I meditate almost every day, and then I journal a lot, every day. My journal is kind of like my free therapy sessions, and I just spend a lot of time, with myself and my own thoughts, and in an effort, I think, to understand them and gain more control over, myself,
Yeah. Awesome.
I assume music also in there helps with that process.
Yeah, so much. That was my first way, I think, of exploring my inner world was writing songs and learning how to express myself, because I never really felt like I could a lot of the times. I always felt misunderstood, so I kept a lot of stuff on the inside. So through journals or writing music, that was the thing, that was my outlet to be able to feel like I could freely express and just be. And so yeah, absolutely, music plays a massive part in that for sure.
And the quality that I think a lot more people should have is that empathetic trait. How does that manifest itself for you?
I think I care a lot about how other people feel, and I can't help but feel and experience the energy of other people. And I think because I've gone through a lot of specifically mental and emotional distress in my life and chaos, and dealt with heavy depression and anxiety since I was 13, 14 years old. And I'm just now starting to heal and understand it and get into a really good place in my life. I feel like going through that has allowed me to be more empathetic to other people's feelings and thought processes and stuff like that. And so it's almost like I can step into a room and I can feel if someone's off. I could feel if someone's going through something. I've even driven past places and felt pain in my body and fear, and found out that there was a murder in that place, or there was we drove past a Civil War area and I had no idea. And I was feeling such distress going through that space, and I ended up looking up what happened there, and there was some battle that happened and stuff like that. It's really weird, but
wow.
Yeah, so it manifests in different ways, but it's cool.
Awesome.
From the sound of that, are you big on energy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. my
Aura.
own energy and like, you know, just other people's and stuff. Like it's the whole thing, you know, you can feel people's vibes, and like that's kind of how I gauge like a space that I'm in or people that I surround myself with. And yeah, for sure, definitely big on that.
Great. Awesome.
These are good questions.
Overall, seems like you're just a naturally good person.
Oh, thank you. I do my best.
It's like someone asked, they said, what do you do for a living? It's like, just my best.
Yeah.
My
Yes,
best every day.
Exactly.
We're going to go ahead and take a short musical break here. This is WPRK 91.5 Creative Control Radio, and we have Talii on your airwaves. This is a little Good to Be Bad by our featured guest host here at Talii. We'll be right back here. And we are right back here on WPRK 91.5. This is Creative Control Radio, and we're your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Mecca.
I'm Matt.
We're a few team members down today, but fret not. We have the incomparable Talii in the building with us. Talii, thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Happy to be here, guys.
So before we get into your most recent endeavors, believe you most recently opened up for Isaiah Falls
I did.
and things of that nature. Before we get into that, tell us where you founded your career. Why? What'd you look like? No, just kidding. But where'd you found?
It actually started, so I've been doing music for as long as I can remember. My dad, I grew up going in studios with him. He was an R&B singer
Cool.
and was in like an R&B group in the 90s. And then he did radio actually at 102 Jams and a couple
What was
other
your
stuff.
brother's
So
name?
Paul Hawthorne.
Okay.
So he's been like in the space for a long time. So I'd always go to studio sessions. I just grew up around music. My uncle did music. Like his whole side of the family is crazy. So I just fell in love with it at a very early age. I started piano at 6 years old, and so I played that for about 6 years. And I started writing when I was about 12. I actually recorded my first song and put it on MySpace Music when I was 12 and performed it at like my talent show and everything like that. So it was like I started at a very young age falling in love with the process and the recording of it, not just the performing and the writing. Like I've been doing it for a while. And when I was about 17, 18, I started working with a producer to be more serious about it and continuously, you know, like put out a project. That was the goal. We're going to record a project. But I ended up having my daughter, and like the project just kind of fell apart, which was a blessing in disguise because at the time I was very young. It was easily like, you know, like you should do this kind of sound because this was popping right now. So like, let's do this. I was literally doing like Miley Cyrus, like Up in the Club type songs. Oh my God, it's so cringy. But after that, soon after my daughter got a little older, I started getting back into it. And a group called DNA Music Group, Tony, he found me on social media just from doing covers and invested in me and just like helped develop me as an artist. And in 2018, I released like my first songs after working with my now partner, G Blizz. He's an incredible producer. And I was working with him, and he really helped to develop me even more as an artist and find my sound. And he's the one who produced Good to Be Bad that just was on, and he produced a lot of my other singles and just really helped me grow into the artist that I am now. So since about 2018 is when we really started taking it seriously and releasing consistently, and it's just been growing since then.
Awesome, and that's evident by your quality of music and then your frequency of putting it out.
Thank you.
What has been one of the more challenging things as you developed as an artist? I know you mentioned that you used to make a different genre of music when you were first getting off the ground. How important or not important was that kind of phase, and how did that kind of lead you to where you are now?
It was very important for me because at the time it was a reflection of who I was, and it was the first time that I really felt like, you know, I'm making music that is a blend of the different things that I liked, even though it didn't really 100% feel like it was me. It was still me at the time. And so it was a good way to just explore and just put things out. And one thing I loved was that we never stuck to one genre. We just kind of like made a song. If it felt good, we were going to put it out, you know? So we just kind of went like that with the singles route for a while. And then I put out my first EP, and it was a really nice blend of like almost like this futuristic electronic elements with like R&B. And, you know, it even had some like Afrobeat kind of stuff in there, and like my mom's from Trinidad, so like we pull a lot from like, you know, the soca and stuff like that. So I had a really nice blend of like who I was, but it still wasn't like all the way there, you know. And I took about 2 years off from creating music And it wasn't even intentional. It just kind of happened. Life got in the way, you know, but it was a good opportunity for me. It was actually after the Rod Wave tour. So I went on tour with Rod Wave as his background singer.
Wow.
And that was incredible. That was such an insane experience. We went all around the country for, I think it was like a 6-week tour. And then when I came back, like, everything just kind of really shifted for me. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, like I just felt like a different person. I was about to turn 30 years old. Like everything really shifts in that time, you know? So I spent 2 years really just exploring. I learned how to produce. And my man really taught me a lot about that. He got me a MacBook for my 30th birthday. And since then, I've just been like learning everything I could. And this year I produced a song that's actually going to come out next year. And it's like the first song that I like produced that I fell in love with. And that was a huge goal of mine. And it really feels like me. And anyone who listens to it, they're like, wow, like this has something different in it. Like it really feels like a reflection of you. So it's like the first time that now I feel like I'm fully, you know, like putting who I am in the music. And I feel like I had to go through that entire phase and all those processes of trying different things and doing this and that and this. And, you know, before I know it, I'm here.
That's beautiful. Really?
Thanks.
Is this the song of yours that you've produced yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the song that's going to come out next year is kind of like the big part of my rebrand. I'm like really, you know, shifting into, since I haven't dropped music in a year and a half. So like new look, new sound, you know, and like the first song, you know, that I like almost fully produced. I co-produced it with my partner, G Blizz. And yeah, I'm just really proud of it. Really proud. So I'm excited.
Shameless plug. I love it.
You think learning to produce kind of changed music for you?
Yeah, it did actually. It changed the way I listened to music a lot. Before I would listen like a songwriter and listen like an artist, so I'd only hear, you know, I'd immediately listen to like the lyrics and the melodies and everything like that. But now like I'm breaking apart the beat in my mind and I'm like, oh, I love the sounds that they're using in the percussion, or how did they get like this to do that, you know? So I'm like really tuning into the different sonics of sounds and being able to pull the things that I like in order to like take it back when I'm, you know, cooking up and like create something that I like, you know? So it's really cool.
So most recent endeavors, you've opened up for Mr. Isaiah Falls here locally in Orlando. Congratulations on that, too.
Thank you.
And the touring with Riot Rave. That's all very, as you know, pretty accomplished things. How'd you fall in with the kind of Isaiah Falls group? Were you friends prior?
Yeah. So we've all been working together for about the past 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I met Zay. They all came to a writing camp of mine about 5 years ago. And that was the first time I met him and like really started working with like Icy Red. And I had already previously been working with G Blizz and everyone, and Luxury Lane came in. It was before they were even Luxury Lane. And so we just wrote at that first camp for about 2 or 3 days, and since then we've been spending like almost every weekend together, like just always creating and working on each other's music, helping each other out when it comes to music videos or content or anything like that, and like really built like a family, you know, like we're like a huge like family unit. And it's such a beautiful thing, and like just grew together. And you know, he really blew up this year, and we've all helped him in any way that we possibly can, and he's done the same with us, you know. And like, so when he went on tour, he had me open up for him in Orlando, and then I went with them to London, and he had me open up for them in London as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was a very surreal experience to be growing with these people, you know, for 5 years and develop such a family dynamic. And then next thing you know, we're traveling to a whole nother country, performing the music that we created in our, you know, in our like studio house and stuff together. So it's very cool, really, really cool.
Sure.
It's pretty obvious that like collaboration has had a big part in your career. Has that been like a journey for you, like kind of navigating that? Because I know for some artists, it's a little harder to collaborate and share ideas and dealing with egos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So how has that been kind of navigating that?
That's a fantastic question. In the beginning, when I first started doing music, I was one of those artists that I was like, I don't want to write with other people. You know what I mean? Because it's like they don't really know me. They can't really, you know, like whatever. And I was just very protective, I guess, over my art and everything. So I had this like wall up when it came to collaboration. And after working with Blizz, he was the one who was like, nah, like collaboration really helps you grow even more. So I started writing with him, and then we started doing writing camps and bringing other writers and producers in. And it really did unlock a lot, because you learn a lot from from other artists, you just open your music up to the ability to be the best that it could be, you know, not just this is my song. It's like, no, this is a good song and we can make it great. And like allowing people to input their expertise and their thought process in it too, and be able to create something together can take it from here to the next level, you know, for sure. So like just relinquishing that control over like your own, you know, sound or the way you want it to be, and allowing someone who's just as good, if not better, to be like, hey, why don't you change this? Or like, why don't we try this? And allowing that to happen, it opens so many doors for growth and creativity.
Content-wise, how important right now in this world that we live in is short-form content for music? Is it still possible, in your opinion, for an artist? And this is for all the musical artists out there listening right now, inspired by you even. How important is putting out video content, constantly putting out music, and if not constantly putting out music, putting out promo for existing music?
It's actually really important. Like even your back catalog, you know, I always find ways to promote songs that came out 3, 4, 5 years ago, because sometimes they'll, you know, have a specific feel to it or a moment or a time in the year or whatever. But I think, you know, putting yourself out there in front of people is important, and we now have the access to reach the entire world, you know, in our hands. And sometimes we don't want to do it, and it's uncomfortable to be in front of the camera, and it does take a lot of time. But it's so worth it, because I remember growing up and we did not have that ability whatsoever to be able to reach a wide audience. It was very like grassroots, you know, type promotion and marketing, and hopefully you get picked up by a label and stuff like that. But now we have the ability to put ourselves out there in front of people, and it does take consistency, you know, like it's like an ad. Sometimes you have to see an ad 4 or 5 times before you click that button and actually buy it.
Yep.
You know, so putting yourself and your song in front of people, it might take them 3 or 4 times to hear it, to be like, you know what, I'm going to go listen to the whole entire song, you know. So I think it's super important, and it's worth it. Our music is worth it. The art that we put in, the time that we put into our art is worth it. And taking that time to create, you know, the visuals and the short form content, even long form content. YouTube is really, I feel like, coming back. A lot of people are craving the depth of long form content again. And YouTube is an evergreen platform. So it's something that someone could find your video years later and it could still, you know, go crazy. So, yeah.
Awesome. Great. Before we take another musical break, Talii, actually, we're going to go ahead and take a short musical break, and we'll be right back here on WPRK 91.5. This is Creative Control Radio, and this is a little Hodor action by our featured artist here at Mecca. We'll be right back. And we are right back here on WPRK 91.5. This is Creative Control Radio, and we're your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Mecca.
I'm Matt.
And we're joined by the very talented Talii, who is not from Tallahassee, but we'll work on that. Talii, before we move into our next segment, Happening Hypotheticals with Matthew, if you had some advice to give to your younger self, what would it be? And keep in mind, so we're factoring in the younger you being receptive to certain things. So, for example, like if I'm 27 now, if I told myself 10 years ago to, like, you know, stop playing basketball or something, I'd be like, yeah, right. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. So if you had advice to give to your younger self, and keeping in mind that, you know, there are young artists, talented ladies out there just like yourself listening right now, if you had any advice to give to your younger self 10 years ago is what we'll say, what would it be?
I would probably tell myself 10 years ago to not worry too much and not feel like I'm falling behind or compare myself to other people, because there's so many journeys and paths to get to, you know, what we would consider success, you know. And a lot of the times at that time, I was only kind of seeing and thinking I had to follow other people's path and I had to make it by this age, especially being like a woman, you know, in the music industry and stuff. You have this thought process that, like, if I don't make it by the time I'm 25, I'm old and no one's going to like me. But that's such a false perspective. So I would just tell myself to, like, take it easy and trust that everything's going to be okay. And as long as I don't give up and I keep showing up for myself, like, it will start to, like, unfold. And, just to not be so stressed out about it and trust that everything's going to work out.
Hakuna Matata.
Yes. What a wonderful phrase.
Great advice universally. generations to come. Motion, go ahead and
Yes, sir.
knock us down, brother. Happening
All right, let me
hypotheticals.
pick one.
So these are just hypothetical questions. You can answer as truthfully or jovially as you like,
Okay.
but they get it pretty entertaining sometimes.
Ooh, fun.
If you could travel to any moment in history, which one would it be?
Any moment in history? Probably the Renaissance era.
Oof.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun time. Just so much like art and knowledge, you know? There's
Yeah.
like that explosion of like what probably was like almost like a golden age at the time. I would love to have experienced that. Or ancient Egypt.
There you go, pyramids.
Yes,
Ah.
like when the pyramids were built, not like Cleopatra. I want to go like way back.
Okay.
You got to stay there. Or you can come back.
Oh my god!
I'd say you can come back because staying there makes it a little more intense.
No,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah, you can come back.
Okay, good. That's a good question to ask.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Moment in history. Y'all know like the Soul Train, like the original Soul Train.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Honestly,
Yeah,
I was
I'm
gonna
going
say
back
like
to like the Jive
70s.
Turkey, that 80s era with big old
yeah.
fro dancing,
Yeah.
popping my collar. You guys seen that video where the guy in the orange is like going
Yes.
crazy back there dancing? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me.
That's a good time.
Interesting time. I know there's a lot of more racial tensions
That's true.
than now, but yeah, for dancing purposes,
Just for the dance.
I'll be back in the 80s.
Maybe like Woodstock or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Like, was that 70s? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
60s,
60s, 70s.
70s.
I think it was like 69 was Woodstock.
I'm unfamiliar. What's
probably great vibes. I mean, it was like a festival, would you call it? Like a
Yeah, it was a music festival.
Yeah, it was like massive.
is that the one where like no that's
Jimi
different.
Hendrix like performed.
Yeah, okay,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Everyone,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There's like a sea of
Everyone.
people out
Yes.
there, pretty much. Huh?
just like a spiritual experience, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just all that good music.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Or be a fly on the wall when they created like Thriller or something. That would be nuts.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Motown back in the
Mm-hmm.
80s.
Woodstock was my answer, so you got to give me like 10 seconds. Honestly, what you just said about seeing Thriller being made, that would actually be pretty insane. I think that might be my answer. Is being in the studio, either that or maybe being in the studio with like Kendrick,
Oh my god, yeah.
just watching him, like especially some of the recent songs he's put out. Not even just the diss tracks, just like I don't know, the like vocal inflections he's been hitting lately on some of the songs. I just love to like be in there when he's like working through that and doing the takes. Like
I love Kendrick Lamar. He's one of my favorite
Oh, yeah,
favorite
me
artists.
too.
But if you had to pick one time in the history of the world to go back to, you would go back to watch Kendrick
it
Lamar.
just got me thinking about music and like
record a
I
record.
don't know. It put me on. I was thinking Woodstock, and then I was like, oh, he answered Woodstock. So,
No, that's fair though.
yeah.
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 Early 2000s. I go see like New Orleans, see like Juvenile and them come up.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
yeah.
Something traditional. What you got for us next?
If you could live in any fictional universe, which one would it be?
Oh my god. That's a really good question. I have two, actually. Harry Potter. That is number one.
Yeah, valid.
And then I love books, and my recent series that I've been getting into is called Throne of Glass. Oh my god, it's so good. It is so good. I was
Throne of
crying
Glass.
earlier when I was reading it. I'm almost done, and it's breaking my heart. But if I could live in that fictional universe, that one too.
Is it more like a serious universe where people kind of?
Yeah, it's like a magical one, and it gets very intense, but it also just seems just so cool. It's just so cool, so much adventure. I love it.
Harry Potter's a tough one for me. It's
That's true.
they got what's the guy's name? Voldemort.
Yeah, with
and his
the
little
nose
creature
and-
things,
that's
and then
true.
all the adults in there are just like, if we don't say his name and cover our eyes, he just won't come back. that gets real dangerous. The kids, they kept putting them in danger.
That's true. They
I
be
had a lot
putting
of
themselves into danger too. It's
Yeah.
like you guys are really young for that.
I watched Harry Potter for the first time in 2023, the whole series, all 6 or 7 movies, and it just and this was last year, and it perplexed me. And I was trying not to pay attention too much to like the animation and graphics because it was earlier in the 2000s, but it was just like the negligence by they need like these children were just in peril,
Oh my
and they
God.
had to defend the world. And then poor Harry, they're like, let's not tell him his past, and just let him grow into it and stumble into it. It was interesting to watch as a grown man
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah, he would need a lot of therapy. I grew up on the books, so like my mom used to read the books to us, and every time a book would drop, she'd buy another one.
Yeah.
So like I literally grew up with this since I was a small child, So it has like a special place, like in my heart. But I feel you. It is, when you look at it, it's like, this is not okay.
Yeah. Nah.
They would definitely have to call, like CPS or something.
You guys watch anime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anime watchers? I'm watching Hunter x Hunter right now, and I think I might live in that universe. It's just jolly enough to like just coast by if I want to, and enough action to like really do something if I also wanted to.
That's cool.
Yeah, but like it get dangerous in
I'm saying.
certain universes. Yeah.
Literally, like every like show or anything I could think of, there's just too much going on to like.
Be sleeping calmly.
Yeah, it'd be like Adventure Time or something. Just
I love Adventure
something
Time.
light.
Living
Even
SpongeBob
then.
happy.
Even then, it's still.
Even then.
But they always get away.
That's true. But what's that one guy? The starts with the L, the weird creepy one with the face. You know what I'm talking about?
The scary one?
Yeah, the scary one.
I know. I know. You're talking
He's
about.
scary.
He is creepy. I was gonna say like Rick and Morty, but
Ooh,
No.
oh my gosh.
yeah, Morty's like constantly like
That's a really dangerous universe.
he gets
Yeah.
PTSD
Very volatile.
every episode. He's like,
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Very volatile. Ocean, where you living at?
It's really tough. I just had one and then it like just vanished. My answer is probably Harry Potter too, but maybe Harry Potter like after the end of the whole arc, like not in the middle,
Yeah.
not in the middle of all the crazy stuff going on.
That's a good
Like
one.
probably after everything's resolved,
Aren't they remaking it?
I
Is it a
Yeah.
remake or a
I
continuation?
mean, we'll see if it happens because they just postponed it like another
really?
year.
Yeah.
It'll be till like 2026.
Oh my gosh.
But it's supposed to be like it's a TV show, and it's just one season for every book. So the idea, I guess, is they can add more details and like draw it out longer.
I'm so
Oh,
excited.
interesting.
But
Can't wait.
we'll see how that goes. It'll probably take a long time to finish
So
too.
it's gonna be to like 10 years,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. Like continue, like go on for about 10 years, which I'm so here for.
Yeah,
Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
I actually, as it has everything I would love, but I didn't get past like the first 2 episodes. I don't know why, and I want to go back
Yeah.
because like I heard it gets better, but it has
yeah.
everything that I would like. The mystical things, the dragons, the like spookiness, all of that stuff.
Very fantastical.
Yeah.
yeah, that happened to me. I watched the first episode and then I stopped for like a year just because I couldn't get into it. And then I like forced myself to watch the first like 3, and I was like, all right, and I just watched.
That's
the whole
gonna
thing.
be me. I have to
Yeah.
get back into it because I fell off.
Definitely worth the ride.
Okay, thank
sure.
you.
Long
I'm gonna
ride,
do
though.
it.
Very long ride.
Yeah.
Make sure you got time for the ride.
I got one more. I have
One
2
more.
more, but what are some things you've had to unlearn,
Oh my gosh, that's can I
or one thing, or multiple, whatever?
I had to unlearn. I don't even know. That's a really good question. My brain was like, a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'll give one. And we had Dwayne Windham. He's a general manager, executive for Hyatt Hotels on the show recently. And Dwayne shared with us that we are not so much logical beings, although we try to operate and think that we are logical and rational beings, but we're more emotional beings. And especially in the workplace, if you start appealing to your staffs or your team's emotional side of things, it goes a lot better. I think it's an outdated way of thinking. Of just like, doesn't matter how you feel, doesn't matter anything else. You do this because I said to do this, or because this needs to be done. But once you start kind of tapping on that EQ, that emotional intelligence, that is like next level managing, operating, molding, and that is something I've had to unlearn. I manage a co-manage a staff of about 60 individuals at this hotel, food and beverage, and it is difficult, especially with there being so many generations in the workforce right now. Some of our staff members are 18 years old, and then some of them are literally in their 60s, hoping to work a few more years to retire, and those younger individuals are just trying to make some extra money while they're finishing up college. So just appealing and learning people, kind of having that emotional intelligence, that empathy is very important. Still unlearning that.
Yeah.
I
That's a-
know. It's a deep question.
Yeah,
right?
that's a very deep question. Maybe being too like
Passive.
not passive, but like too like normal. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't aware of like the power of individuality like when I was younger, but like I had to learn like there's so much power in being like unique and like having it, even though you know it might not be what everyone's used to or you know what everyone technically wants, but I don't know, just like the power of being yourself and how that allows you to positively benefit other people's lives.
That's really good. That's a good one.
That is a pretty important one.
I think I really had to unlearn the concept and the programming that like life just happens to us and that we are not in control of our own lives or realities. And like the more that I realized that truly it does start with our beliefs, like our core beliefs are the things that create our experience. That was something that like I had to really rewire that concept that things are just happening to me and that I'm kind of just like on something that experiences things instead of something that creates things. And like learning that we do actually have immense amount of control over how we experience our own lives just by changing our core belief systems and then beginning to reprogram our subconscious mind. That was like a huge thing for me and really helped change the complete like trajectory of my life for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Huge one.
I'd say my answer, at least for me anyway, with like, because I make music as well, and I think, or this can be for anything creative, but I think I used to think that with making music, like if a certain idea didn't come into my head or like I didn't feel inspired or something, then like, oh, it's just not the time for me to go work on anything. And I've kind of learned it's like, for me anyways, I have to just kind of sit down, open up the program, just sit there with, even though it's uncomfortable maybe, to not have any idea coming in your head and not know what you're going to put in next in the project or whatever. You just have to sit there with it and wait for it to hit you and like leave yourself open to having inspiration hit you or an idea hit you, because there's never going to be like a perfect time to go and work on something creative in general. You have to, for me anyways, I've just like structured like I'm going to do this amount of time every day and just show up and see what happens. And then I almost always have something at the end of it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Sweet. You said you have one more? I got one.
You got one? Go for it.
I got the time loop hypothetical. We're going to throw it back a little bit. So you are, I think I wrote it down. I don't want to misrepresent my own hypotheticals here. Time loop. Yes. If you had to live in a time loop for the rest of your life, what interval of time would you choose? 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and why? Now, I'm a month-by-month type of guy. Okay, every 30 days we can reset that thing. But I was thinking, what was y'all's choices?
I think mine was a month.
Month. Smart man, very smart man.
Because I think we specified that it's like a random month.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily get to choose the month.
That's right. So you'd essentially be reliving November over and over again. It reaches November 30th or whatever, and next day is November 1st, and then keep going like that. You keep your memories, is what we said, but you can't keep any like physical ability. So, for example, if you were pumping weight, lifting for a year straight, you don't keep that muscle mass when you reset, but you do have the memory of doing it, which counts for
Does your
nothing.
muscles have the memory? Muscle memory?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here, I
man.
got you with the punchline.
I don't know. I think I would choose a year because we basically restart years, except the fact that there's no progress into the next one except for our memories.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm going to choose a year, though.
Yeah.
Because it would feel the most, like, normal, I think, in my own brain. Because if I was, like, reliving, like, the same month, I'd probably go crazy after a while, I think.
Part of the reason I picked a month is because a year, it could be going really, really horrible by like month 7 or 8 or even 6. And then you got the rest of the year to live it out as opposed to like 30 days. But there's pros and cons to all of it.
Yeah.
Because 30 days, if it's going great, let's say you meet the love of your life. And things are going great, you got to reset at the end of those 30 days.
Do you meet her every month? Is it like 50 first dates?
Yep.
But she doesn't remember.
For you.
Yeah, but she
But
doesn't.
you have to convince that person that.
Wow.
We just stumbled into like a movie plot.
We did.
Yeah.
Michael, what you doing, man?
I think I got to go with the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the depth of like the experience that you can get. You could just like you meet somebody, you can dive into that for a whole year with that person or whatever it is, or you're learning something, you have like a full year. I feel like you can only get so far in a month, you know?
Yeah. You think there would be any point or any scenario where you just want to toss the rest of the year out? Like, you're like, wow, this is bad. I just need everything to reset. Like,
Would it just continue to be bad the whole year if it started out bad?
let's say, for example, out of the 12 months, month 2, knock on wood, God forbid, this is just an example, you lose one of your close friends through an action of your own doing. At that point, I imagine for the next 10 months, you're just like, you don't want to go through 10 months of just having lost your friend just for it to reset. It's like, I just want this to be over.
That's true.
As opposed to 30 days, you're right back. But, I mean, again, pros and cons. 30 days is a short turnaround time to be reliving.
That's true. But would you have to relive losing your friend every month?
Ooh, that'd be awful.
Oh, my gosh. The
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? Just take me out. I've had enough.
Yeah, time loops. Nobody's picking the day, huh? Nobody wants to keep reliving the same day.
Oh,
That would be
no,
hard.
Days come
that'd be
crazy.
horrible.
It would be so much fun, though, at first. I would like... Sorry, everyone listening. I would try to, like, rob a bank.
That's true.
If I'm resetting in, like, 24 hours, I'm just going to do, like, the most extreme stuff, and then it doesn't even matter. I'm just going back.
Yeah,
Doing it
yeah.
just to do it, too. As long as nobody's, like, being hurt. Victimless crimes.
Yes.
We don't condone violence here on Creative
You can
Control
steal
Radio.
from an empty bank where no one's there.
Yeah.
Or you get a job at the bank, and then everyone leaves, and then you stay there, and then you rob it, and then you leave, and you quit.
Yeah. That's a lot to do in 30 days, but yeah.
True.
I'm thinking
Or 24
too, like,
hours, yeah.
if you only have a day, because if you're starting the same day in every like the same location,
Yeah, you
like
can only
maybe
travel
I don't
so
know,
far.
you could have more fun with like a month because maybe I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I could like put a flight on a credit card or something
That's
and
true.
like go do other
Oh.
stuff.
I feel like you just
Get a
start
bonus.
from a different checkpoint almost. So, like, if I made it so far in 30 days, let's say my goal is to get to the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That's a thing, right? Leaning Tower of Pisa?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say my goal was to get there. And I got so far in the goal before the 30 days reset. Then I might want to start from a different point, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? What if I got hung up for 10 days with customs or something? I don't know. It's a tough one. Super tough one. Well, cool. Great. We can get into shout-outs and start wrapping up here. First of all, Talii, thank you for coming on to the show. We'll give you another standing ovation with our live studio audience here. Appreciate you coming on, sharing your personality, your joy. You're one of the more pleasant guests in my experience here on the show. So we appreciate you coming on, being the joy, spreading your knowledge, and doing your great things out here. We hope we can lock you in to our showcase coming up February 8th. I think this is our first time announcing it. We'll have a collective of artists showcasing their talents at our concert series coming up February 8th right here in Mills District. So
that's awesome.
a lot more details to come on that. But Talii, thank you for being here today.
Of course.
You're
Thank
wise.
You guys for having me. Oh, thank you.
And you carry it all well.
Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you guys
Absolutely.
for having me. It's been a good time, and for all the fun talks and hypotheticals.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Motion, who we shouting out today?
Shout out to my mom for letting me save some money on a hotel and stay with her. Shout out to my friends, new ones and old, that I met in Miami and did stuff for Art Basel with. Yeah, shout out to them. And you guys?
Oh, no, you can.
What?
Mecca, who we shouting out today, brother?
Shout out to my mother.
There you go.
She's listening. She is listening.
There you go. Good.
Shout out to my brothers. Had a great time over Thanksgiving with them. Shout out to everyone listening week after week. Definitely appreciate y'all. The CC team putting on shows, doing our thing. And Talii, of course, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Talii, you can close us. Well, actually, shouts out to everyone listening week after week. All those tapping in with us, Creative Control, on our social media platforms. We appreciate y'all. Shouts out to DJ V Hunter Phillips, Freaky Phil, Rollins College, WPRK, and all those beautiful folks over at the Alphond Inn. Shouts out to you all. Talii, who are we shouting out?
I'm going to shout out to my family and my music fam and my whole team. Luxury Lane DNA, Miss J Yoko over here. And yeah, and to just anybody who's listening that's going through something right now and like been struggling and stuff, shout out to you because you woke up today and you made it through another one and you're going to keep moving and you're going to get better. And sending you all love. And yeah, thanks for having me. Shout out to you guys too.
Thank you. Where can everyone find your music and your social media platforms?
Social media, every single one of my handles is Talii, Talii music, and it's all one word. And on Spotify, Apple Music, or anything, it's just Talii, Talii. And yeah, you can find me there.
Sweet. Awesome. We'll be back next week. I believe that is before Christmas, right before Christmas. No, we got a couple more shows before Christmas. But we'll be back next week. We look forward to hearing from you all, and we'll take you out the same way we usually do. Mecca's favorite artist here, Miss Baker, although we've heard the troubling story about her recently. We'll see you all next week.